Hey everyone, welcome back to Ironhead Forge. Thrilled to have you here because we've got some exciting updates to share. There are some amazing knife and sword projects in the works that I know you're going to love. Whether you're a collector, craftsman, or just a fan of the craft, there's something here for everyone. Also, I'm working on some incredible knife designs specifically for the coupon code challenge. These are going to be unique and worth the anticipation, so stay tuned for those reveals. The channel is growing. That's all thanks to you. Yes, you. Your views, likes, comments, shares, and subscriptions make all the difference. This community wouldn't be the same without your support. I can't thank you enough. Stick around. There's so much more coming your way, and I can't wait to share it with you. All right, folks. Let's dive into this masterpiece I just wrapped up. It's a folding lock blade pocket knife. My first ever attempt at making one. Yes, that's right. I decided to boldly go where I've never gone before, and you know what? It was actually fun. Shocking, I know. Now, as you probably guessed, I'm all about repurposing steel when I can. So, this beauty is made mostly from... drum roll, please. Worn-out lawnmower blades. That's right. Your yard's worst enemy is now a functional piece of craftsmanship. Pro tip. Hit up lawnmower repair shops. They often have piles of old blades lying around, just waiting to be turned into something awesome. Most of these blades are made from high-carbon steels like 1084 or 1090, perfect for mono-steel blades, Damascus, or whatever mad genius project you're cooking up. This knife, it's 85% lawnmower blade, baby. Efficiency and upcycling at its finest. Now here's the kicker. When I start a project, I like to borrow inspiration from other knives. Basically find an old knife, eyeball it, and think, yeah, I can do better than this. For this pocket knife, I used a cheap Gerber knockoff from Taiwan or China. You know, the kind of knife that barely cuts butter and falls apart if you sneeze too hard. But hey, credit where credit's due. I made a great pattern. Of course, I couldn't leave it at that. I made a few improvements of my own, because why settle for May? And the final product? Chef's kiss. It turned out great. So here it is. A Frankenstein lawnmower blade pocket knife with a little bit of Gerber DNA and a whole lot of elbow grease. Who knew trash could look this classy? Now, let's talk grinding and other fun adventures in metalwork. After chopping out the rough design of the main body and those fiddly little parts, it was time to get down to business. Out came the Ameribraid 2X72 belt grinder, and with a trusty 36 grit belt from Combat Abrasives, proceeded to turn perfectly good steel into a fine layer of metallic dust. True craftsman at work, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you, if you're not using the best tools, well, you probably shouldn't care just yet. I didn't. I started my journey of questionable decisions with a humble 4-inch grinder for all my grinding and sanding needs. But here's the kicker. Once you finally work up your shop to the point where you can afford top-shelf gear, you'll never look back. And when I say never, I mean mostly never. I still use that scrappy 4-inch grinder, but now it's relegated to the glamorous job of just cutting steel. The moment you get your hands on something like an Ameribraid and pair it with Combat Abrasive belts, that's it. You're ruined for anything less. Oh, and if you do end up buying one, let them know Robert at Ironhead Forge sent you. No, I'm not getting a fat check out of it, but hey, it's nice to be polite. Now back to the project. You think having all these shiny machines would mean smooth sailing, right? Wrong. No matter how many tools you throw at a project, there's always something that needs old-fashioned filing and sanding. Case in point, the lock lever. I had to make that thing twice because I accidentally shaved off just enough to make the blade wiggle after locking. Frustration level. Nuclear. But hey, I was aiming for the perfect fit. Sometimes perfection takes a little extra pain. Or in this case, a lot of extra filing and a colorful vocabulary. And that's the magic of forging, folks. A lot of grinding, sanding, and occasionally losing your sanity. But in the end, it's all worth it. Probably. Alright, let's talk symmetry, because apparently it's frowned upon to have a lopsided pocket knife. To make sure everything lined up perfectly after drilling the pinholes for the main body, I used high carbon pins and a little thing called super glue. Yep, nothing screams precision engineering like holding things together with glue while grinding them into one solid piece. It's like arts and crafts, but for grown-ups with power tools. Once that was done, I marked out where I wanted the side scales cut. Pro tip, always err on the side of less is more when milling. There's nothing quite like that sinking feeling when you realize you've milled too much, and now your perfect project is on a fast track to, well, it was nice while it lasted. Stay conservative, folks. Less regret that way. Now let's talk about the blade. For this one, I dipped into my pile of failed projects that still have potential. Specifically, the Mosaic Damascus blade that went south. Turns out one little section didn't forge weld properly. I only discovered it after spending a week forging and then surface grinding the blade. Nothing like realizing all your hard work is basically trash. But hey, one knife's failure is another knife's destiny, right? I managed to salvage a good chunk of the steel for this blade. I'll probably get 2 or 3 more pocket knife blades out of it. So stay tuned for more failed project reincarnations. Once I cut out the rough outline of the blade, it was off to the grinder to make sure it was the right thickness. Next up, spraying it with red dicam and carefully scribing my center lines and bevel placement. By carefully, I mean trying not to mess it up, because once you grind away too much, there's no Ctrl plus Z in real life. From there, it's a delicate game of grinding away the excess steel, while trying not to let your soul leave your body from the stress. And that, my friends, is how you turn failure into something borderline beautiful. Who knew a flawed Mosaic Damascus could end up as a pocket knife hero? After using all the fancy machines that make you feel like a modern-day wizard, take a step back in time to the tried and true method of making sure everything is perfectly flat. That's right, a piece of sandpaper and a polished slab of granite engineering block. Nothing screams precision, quite like rubbing metal back and forth like you're trying to start a fire with sheer frustration. But hey, it works. Once everything is truly flat and your arms feel like jelly, you get to witness the moment of truth, watching a week's worth of work, not counting the week I spent forging the blade itself, come together. It's like assembling a Lego set, but one you've painstakingly crafted piece by piece with the ever-present risk of ruining it all. Now let's be real, this isn't the first time it's been assembled. Oh no, by the time the pins go in for the last time, this thing has probably been put together and taken apart more times than a cheap IKEA chair. Or your buddy's truck that just needs a little work and somehow spends more time in pieces than on the road. You get the idea. And yet, despite all the sanding, fitting, and disassembling, there's something satisfying about seeing it all finally function as it should. Almost makes you forget the tears, swearing, and existential crises along the way. Almost. Alright, now that we've done some detailed finish work, aka making sure it doesn't look like I ground this thing in the dark, It's time for the pièce de resistance, hot bluing. What's hot bluing, you ask? Oh, just a process where you essentially give steel a sexy black finish while simultaneously protecting it from rust, because apparently steel doesn't appreciate being exposed to the elements. Here's the deal. Hot bluing involves dipping the steel into boiling bluing salts, which sounds like a potion from a medieval alchemy book. It's really just a fancy chemical bath. The heat and chemicals create a layer of magnetite, a form of iron oxide, on the surface of the steel. Translation: your steel goes from bare metal waiting to corrode to dark, durable, and rust-resistant. It's like armor for your steel, but it also looks very cool. Win-win. So once I've sanded all the pieces to a pristine finish, or at least close enough for me to not cry about, I hang each one by a wire like ornaments on a very industrial Christmas tree. Then, carefully lower them into the bubbling cauldron of boiling bluing salts, ensuring they're completely submerged. Why wire? Because hands and boiling chemicals are not a good mix, and I like my skin where it is. After some time in their hot salt bath, pieces emerge looking like $1,000,000. Well, maybe not literally, but they sure don't look like lawnmower blades anymore. And that, my friends, is how you take raw steel and turn it into something that looks so good, you almost don't want to use it. Almost. After a cozy 25-minute soak in a 295-degree boil, the parts come out looking great. I'm not about to play hot potato with nearly 300-degree steel. So, into the cold water they go. Why? Because blistered fingers aren't a good look for a blacksmith. I prefer to keep mine intact for future projects. Next, it's off to the wash, scrub, and oil bath. Why the oil bath, you ask? Because those salts are relentless little gremlins that will keep rusting the steel long after their job is done. Think of the oil as a stern babysitter saying, "All right, it's enough chaos for today. Now, for the moment we've all been waiting for, final assembly. To create a strong contrast against the glossy black finish, I'm using brass pins. Fancy, right? No. Before you ask, I didn't use the tiny anvil to peen the pins into place. While the idea of delicately tapping away like a miniature blacksmith sounds fun, I opted for a larger hammer and anvil because I value my sanity and efficiency. And there you have it. A boiling, scrubbing, and hammering process that's as dramatic as it sounds. All that's left now is to step back and admire the shiny, brass-accented glory of it all. Who knew a boiling pot of salty water could lead to something this fancy? Alright, as you watch me perform some magical woodworking wizardry to craft these stunning scales from African blackwood, let's take a moment to chat about the coupon code challenge. For my regulars, you know the drill, but for you first-timers, buckle up. It's simple, it's fun. It's basically a treasure hunt for knife lovers. Each month, I feature a shiny new custom-forged knife in a video. That knife will be on the homepage at Ironhead Forge, waiting for you to add it to your cart and crack the elusive coupon code. Here's the catch. The code is buried somewhere in the video. Maybe it's something I said. Maybe it's something you saw. Maybe it's hidden in plain sight, mocking you for not noticing. Guess the code. And if you're right, the knife is yours for just $1. Yes, you heard that right. $1. But only the first person to guess it gets the prize. After that, the knife will be marked as coupon code used, and the rest of you can cry into your coffee mugs. If no one figures it out by the first of the next month, I'll throw you a bone with a hint. So, watch carefully, guess wisely, and let the games begin. Check the description for more details, because I can't do all the work for you. Now back to this pocket knife. Let's break it down. Open. 8.75 inches of handcrafted glory. Closed. 5 inches. Pocket perfect, unless your pockets are as cluttered as mine. Blade. A sleek 3.75 inches, ready to handle whatever life throws at it. Weight. 8.5 ounces. A solid little workhorse. Scales. Made from gorgeous African blackwood, because plain wood just wouldn't cut it for this beauty. Hope you enjoyed the video, the project, and my questionable sense of humor. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Robert signing off from Ironhead Forge. Stay sharp, everyone. Ironhead Forge, out.